This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
So there's some interesting house show numbers. August 29th at the Meadowlands drew 1,800.
Okay, let's figure something out here just so you get a feel for this. $1,800, right?
1,800 paid, so 1,800 fans.
Okay, so let's say average ticket was what, $20
at most.
$36,000 house.
Yep.
Okay, the main event guys got by historically have gotten 3% of the net after taxes. So you got a $36,000 gross. You deduct the taxes. Let's say that's 10%. I'm just throwing a number out there because I don't know. Let's say now you're down to 30 grand. So you pay the main event, and everybody thought they're in the main event because nothing was drawn, which is kind of ironic. It's kind of stupid. I wouldn't want my hands in that tar baby. So then you get 3% of that. So let's say, so your pay that night, if you just paid off the house, was what would it be, $3 grand? And all of a sudden, within about two pays out of that talent pool, you don't have any money left. I mean, nothing. But you got to pay everybody something for making the trip. So you give them, that they would get, I don't know what they got. I didn't do that, but in my days at WWE, they would get nobody got less than $500. Even on a stinker, even a referees. So everybody got paid something to keep them happy. Because then we made it back on the big shows. There were plenty of big shows to do, but there was no plenty of big shows here.
That's exactly right.
That's what we had. And there was no money to be paid. So guys like Nikita Koloff, who saw that the handwriting on the wall, there's no money here. So I could either stay on the road and travel and put up with all this consternation and drama, or I can back away from it for a while, get rid of the stress, and just focus on my business, which was the gym.
We should mention, as crazy as it sounds, after this show on the 29th of the Meadowlands, that does 1,800, which Jim just broke down for you. The next day they're in Philadelphia and they draw 650 fans.
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
And
we should not even have been on the road, Conrad, because we're losing money by going on the road. Remember, these men and women and people traveling had to get there. Hello. And that would be a ticket, which would cost you some cash. So it was a loser before you even left Atlanta. The house is going to lose. It's just not a matter. Is it going to lose money? Sure, it's going to lose money. The question is, how much money is it going to lose? And as a business person, you can understand this better than most. That's not a world you want to work in, where you're losing money today, but you just don't know how much you're losing. That's unsettling as hell. So that's we should have, at the end of the day, focused on television, vignettes, things that you get talent over, build the brands, build the individual brands of the wrestlers, and let that grow. And we had plenty of hours of television to do that. My God, we had a show on Friday night. We had a show on Saturday after Saturday, the TBS show. We had a show on Sunday night. We had syndication. We had plenty of hours of television to expose the talent and in the right way. And that was never done because there were way too many cooks in the kitchen, and everybody had a dog in a race, or a dog in the hunt, whatever you want to say. And it was all politics, and it was horrible.
It's unbelievable, but the hits keep coming. The next day, August 31st, they're in Baltimore. Kids got in for 54 cents. And there's 2,500 folks in attendance, 54 cents. September 1st in Norfolk draws 1,800. Even Meltzer chimes in. He says, I don't know how long this company can continue to operate in this manner. They've gone long since past the critical point and are approaching a comatose position. And the doctors in charge of this patient seemingly are doing nothing but sitting there waiting for a slow, brutal death. A whole scale change of battle plans is needed. And all we keep seeing is more of the same, but only worse. He would also say, although WCW officials are denying there was ever a plan to use the hunchbacks, there definitely was, since Kevin Sullivan was asked to be one of them. I don't know what the status of them is right now, but Jim Ross denied there were ever plans to do the gimmick. This has been a joke that has gone around for a long time that I guess was born out of a booking meeting that Jim Herd attended. And supposedly he pitched, well, what if we had a pair of hunchback wrestlers? That way they couldn't be pinned. Their shoulders would never touch the mat. And I think someone in the meeting said, well, they would just submit.
I think it might've been me.
Yes.
I got my ass chewed out for it. I said, what about submitting? Where's my submission? And he said, God damn it. You spoil everything. You spoil everything with that goddamn logic of yours. Yeah, well, wrestling fans are, they know what's going on. Give them credit. But it was ridiculous, quite frankly, and it never saw the light of day. Did we get the ding dongs?
There were ding dongs, yes, sir.
They worked on television, I think, right?
They did, yes, sir.
So it was in that trail of ridiculous ideas were the hunchbacks. But Herd probably thought about it all weekend, Mr. Herd, and with his limited knowledge of pro wrestling and what was going to work creatively, he probably thought he had a hell of an idea until it was doo-dooed on at the booking meeting.
Let's go ahead and jump into maybe a less than awesome time. September 5th, 1991 is when Clash of the Champions 16 went down. This is the very first Fall Brawl. I can't believe this is real. We're at the 30-year anniversary of the Fall Brawl, but of course, eventually Fall Brawl is going to become synonymous with the War Games event. That is not the case here in Augusta, Georgia. But 1991 WCW is always interesting to talk about because it feels like there's a bunch of talent, but boy, it's just not arranged the right way. We're going to talk in depth about that today. But when you and I sort of looked at the roster before we clicked record this morning, ton of talent, but the matches on this show in particular, woof, we weren't going to be selling a lot of anything here in 91 in WCW.
No, nobody was hot. There's no great momentum going. There's no momentum like we're discussing about AEW right now. That would compare to what we're seeing in WCW at that time. It was kind of an embarrassment, to be honest with you, when you look back at it all these years, because you look on that roster, and as you alluded to, there's a lot of great talent. It's just a matter of leadership and having someone put them all in a position to do their best work. And I know that we didn't do that.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.